see. So this is very important. Person, child, which I see. Children are supposed to be listening. Just because you have a band, you can do something.
It's all good, Heather. You can drink that. It's okay.
So by having these injections, I look at it as a constant stress.
6 children, the youngest 10 years old, the oldest 8 months. She gave him chizuk, so all he would say the other things is interesting. Not afraid to speak, you're not going to speak to him.
He says, or you might. I say,
thank again the Parnes of today, Shabbos Parshas Vayechi, the Glock family, לעילוי נשמת Avram Chaim ben Simcha, Shem Shavim Li, and hopefully Shem Simcha Nachas as well. On page Samich and Ayekah. And the Mechaber is being Navara the chiluk, the difference between feeling free and being free. The feeling of freedom, which is natural for a human being to long for, to feel free, and being free. And we all understand that feeling free does not actually mean that you are free. So that's the Nakud that he's being Mevarer. We're on page Samach. In the middle of the page, a little lower there where it says Moshe Adam Shabava Omer. Moshe Adam Shabava Omer Ani Rotze Chayfesh Ani Rotze Le'achal Kol Mashe Mischashek Li. The person that wants to feel free, and feeling free means he wants to feel free to be able to eat whatever it is that he would like to eat. Feeling free means that I am able to eat whatever I enjoy. The doctor comes and tells him, gluten that it's not healthy for you to eat these things. In your condition, you should not be eating these things. So this person, because he wants to feel free, and he enjoys the feeling of freedom, everybody does, and he wants to feel free to eat all the sugar and stuff that he likes. So he ignores the doctor. He wants to be chofshi, and to eat everything that he enjoys. So can we say that he is free? Even though he feels free, is he free? The doctor is telling this person that this stuff is very, very unhealthy for you. It's going to shorten your life. And he's not free to overcome the desire to eat that food. So even though eating the food gives him a feeling of freedom, but of course we all understand that he's meshubah to his taiva, that he's enslaved to this power right now in his life, that is this taiva that he has. The Sefer shel davar shigufa yikrais v'nafsho olav te'ava. In the end, his body is going to be destroyed, and there's going to be a avelus לכן הגם שהוא מרוויח את התחושה החופשית, בכך שכרגע הוא אוכל בלי חשבון, so even though he feels that he's gaining this excitement of the freedom that he has to indulge without any cheshbon in this moment, and here he's talking about food, whatever it is that that person gets that thrill from indulging and giving him that feeling of being free, but that horrible feeling that comes afterwards, of course, is from the immediate or close to immediate recognition that I'm not free at all. I felt free for that moment, but be'etzem, I'm an eved, meshubed, to this taiva that's destroying my life. Whether it's eating or other things, this taiva is destroying my life. Hayisurim she'avo la'ach mikein, therefore afterwards he tortures himself. Why did I do this? At the moment there was this chayfish that he felt, this freedom. He felt free, but then afterwards, of course, he recognizes, he remembers that he's not free at all. His life is enslaved. He is enslaved to a life that is terribly painful to him. The way that he's living is terribly painful. Anybody that looks at this dispute between the doctor and the patient. The doctor says you can't eat this, and the patient goes ahead and eats it. Anybody looks at this and says that this doctor is terrible because he's taking away his patient's freedom. He's encroaching upon the freedom of his patient. Anybody that would say such a thing, of course, that would be narishkeit. That would be foolish. The doctor is fighting for this person's freedom. The doctor is fighting for this person to be free of that self-destructive habit of eating things that are killing him. And the doctor is fighting for this person to be free. Because the doctor is looking at this person's life in a much bigger way. He's a wonderful person with a family, with all tachlis in his life, and so on. And the doctor wants to help this person be free to live that life with his family, and so on till 120. And the patient wants to be free to eat this piece of cake. The doctor's not looking at this person because of that moment of pleasure that he's taking away from the patient, that he's holding back from the patient. So the patient is meshubah to the doctor, he's meshubah to his taiva. The doctor's trying to take away that shibud. This is simple, it's pashut, but as simple as it is, we will have problems with this. It's samach so each one of us has to look at our lives and how we live. A person would conduct his life according to the ritzaynus, those desires that he has for the moment, that are oftentimes nemuchim, that are low. The merchavei achayim, the expanses of life, the deep expanses of his life, yikolu b'mamakim, will be locked up in some tunnel. Lo yetzel hapo. So the deeper, so with this guy, this is the patient. So the deepest desire of his life is to be able to be with his family, to have nachas, to learn, to keep mitzvahs till 120. That's the deepest rotzen that he has. But that rotzen pnimi is buried because of the rotzen that he has for that moment to be free to to eat that food that's not good for him. And the true, deepest desire that he has, in the meantime, is held hostage, is imprisoned, can't express itself. So is he free? So the moment that he's indulging that piece of food or that picture on the computer, whatever it might be, so he's free to do that. He feels a certain exhilaration and a certain liberation, and whatever it is that's connected with that type of behavior, he feels that freedom and he feels that excitement, but then a moment later he cries over the freedom that he's truly longing for, that's being held prison. That's he's not living. When the person, the truth is that when the person is bound to this shibud of his taivas, there's no more terrible shibud than that. The beginning, of course, is to know that the true stature of a person, who a person really is, every person, every human being, even those people that appear to us to be the lowest people, the bemis, the shir kaimishal adam, is the stature of a person is much greater than the way that he looks at himself. If you'd be able to be free from the secondary taivas that are keeping him from living according to the true taiva, that's according to his real greatness, his real potential. He says, Omashu roa b'mara, the way that he looks at himself in such a small way, in the mirror, and the way he experiences his life and the things that he's doing, he doesn't see how much greater he is than all of those things. So again, does he feel free? Is he going out on Saturday night and doing whatever he wants? Yeah. Is he carrying out all of his fantasies? He's free to carry out all of his fantasies. So he feels free, but be'etzem he's an avodim hayinu l'para mitzvah. He's an avid. He's a slave. Ha'adam kailo b'kirba oitzois mefloim rechavim ha'od. Each person carries within him treasures, wondrous and expansive treasures. Elohim ha'nefesh, ha'ruach ha'neshama shel adam. Nefesh, ruach, neshama. Shem ha'merchavim ha'amukim ha'tmunim b'havayus ha'adam. Those are the merchavim, the expanses, ha'amukim, the deep expanses of a person's life that are buried in the very existence in the essence of man. Geshem she'adam muchach lichyois chayi nefesh she'yavo lidei bitui b'kshoyvim chaverim u'mishpacha. The same way that loneliness is horrible, and that there's something deep inside of a person, inside of a healthy person, that's pushing him to have a connection to friends and to family. There's something deep inside a person that's longing for those connections with others. And the person, even though the person could have the most beautiful home and all physical pleasures and all the food in the world that he could possibly eat, and he even has all kinds of different physical pleasures that appear to fill that need to be with other people, but what he's missing in his life are people that love him and people who he loves. So all of these things that he has, says that he's not able to be happy, he's not able to be satisfied. The same way that it's the most natural need that a person has for love and for companionship and so on, so too it's the most natural thing for a Jew to live those merchavim, those expanses, those deep expanses of his soul. It's the most natural thing in the world. as ruach of nishmasa. For a Jew to live with his ruach and with his neshama is a deeper need than a person has, than any person in the world has for companionship, for friendship, for family. The need of the ruach and the neshama of a Jew, because the hachava, the merchav of that neshama, the ruach and the neshama of a Jew, is beyond that. Ha'adam ha'shalem v'misha ha'itzi el ha'poel es klal ha'itzus ha'tmunim ba'atzmiyusa. The shlemus of a person is when the person is able to bring out into his life these aitzos hatmunim, those treasures that are buried deep within him, of his ruach and his neshama b'atzmiyusa. That's why I'll talk about this more Mishama L'chbuz Yosef Atzadik on Sunday morning, but that's why Davka during these parashiyas of the Golus and Gula are the weeks of Shovavim that we're beginning Mitzvah Motzei Shabbos, or we're beginning the weeks of Shovavim. So when a person hears the word Shovavim, we're hearing much more about that these past few years before Mashiach comes. When a person hears Shovavim, so when you hear Shovavim means, oh, these are the weeks where there's a special thing about, like, what people who fast, and they make all these tikkunim and say a lot of tehillim and try to stay away from all these, bad behaviors, men, women stuff that's not nice, to stay away from all this stuff and from looking at bad things. So these are the weeks dafka during the Golus and the Gula from Mitzrayim, because the Torah is saying feeling free does not mean that you're free, and feeling that you're being told don't do that, which in your immature, imperfect state is something that gets you upset. Don't do that. That's the truth of the matter is that's being free from Egypt, and that's why during these weeks of the Golus and Gula, these are the weeks of Shovavim, Davka during the parashiyas of the slavery and leaving Mitzrayim. But again, to the person who's not trying to be free, to be be'etzem free, when he hears the word Shovavim, it's the same way that he hears Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur means not to eat. When he hears the word, or he's in shul, Shabbos Mevachim, Reish Chodesh Elul. So for some people, there's nothing more exciting in the world, but for a lot of people, Reish Chodesh Elul is. I guess I'm not going to watch those things for the next. Can't do this stuff. Whatever. Can't. My favorite things I'm not going to be able to do. And Chodesh Elul Yibiyim means now I have to be an Eved of Hashem. Be an Eved of Hashem. The other person hears this, Elul's going to give me koiches to finally be free of this crazy addiction that I have, of this habit I have with all. I'm going to learn, I'm going to daven, I'm going to come to Yom Kippur, I'm going to be free, I'm going to be free for that person because I can't wait till this is finished, I can get back to the show. Says, do you want to feel free or do you want to be free? So Shovavim takes place during the time of leaving Mitzrayim. And that's the question. Do you want to be free? And the biggest shibud, at least for a zocher, for a male, the biggest shibud is in this inyan of the avodah of Yesod, of Tikkun HaBris. It's the biggest shibud that a person has in his life. It's to that taiva of Nashim, of Bris. It's the biggest taiva. So how do you hear Shovavim? Do you hear Shovavim? This year it's an Ibiyar, so Shovavim Tat, which is the Ikka Tikkun of Shovavim is in a leap year. It's the Ikka Tikkun is in a leap year. It's an unbelievable time of tshuva, the weeks of Shovavim. For one person is, okay, we did the tshuva thing already, didn't we? Like this is supposed to be fun time, isn't this fun time? This is like, fun, Hanukkah, Purim, whatever. This is fun time. No holidays at all. And now they came around with Arizal hacking us with this now. The one time of the year where they don't have to worry about being, tshuva and being bad and our things and all of that stuff. And the one time we have, it's just a nice quiet time to, winter vacation and here he comes along. Really, the Arizal didn't. It's not before the Arizal, but the Ari was the one who made the big. So now the Ayekah Kodesh comes around and he starts to tell us, Shovim, and all over Yerushalayim, in every street corner there's a sign, Shovim, and they can have fasting, and the Sfardim are all, getting ready, and Tehillim, and all kinds of Tikkunim, and all kinds of things. And this guy is looking at the sign, he's saying, life was just getting good. It's still quite a bit till Elul. It's still there's still some time. There's the Pesach. Okay, Pesach's okay because I'm going to a hotel. So I'm not meshubit to cleaning or anything like that. I got, the guy I'm going to do that. So I'm free. Pesach's okay. Pesach's not a bad holiday. I don't mind it. I'm gonna have someone pick up the matzahs for me. I don't have to go. And there's swimming on the Chol White, so people even on Yontif. And I'm free. I'm free, and so I had these weeks till Pesach, like this Tkufa was a Tkufa where it was just Purim is a blast. Who has problems with Purim? And if I'm rich and they ask me for too much money, I'll go someplace in the afternoon. So I'll be free from the schnorrers. So I can be free. I can be free, and I feel pretty good now. Yom Kippur's not so long ago, so it means it's still pretty long till the next Yom Kippur. So I'm free from that whole matzav of Yom Kippur, and Purim and Pesach's all right. Purim and Pesach's that's fun. Shavuos is okay. I mean, it's a little bit annoying, the nighttime thing. But over the years, they've been making, they've been making, cutting down and different classes and some breaks, a lot of breaks in between. So I can manage one night, right? And then there's the summer. So it's barbecuing and whatever, all that good stuff. And Tisha B'Av was a huge pain. And then Rosh Chodesh Elul starts all over again. Till I could finally be free of that business. And then the result comes along. Shovim, just when you were having a good time, and you felt that you were free to do whatever you wanted, and there's no guilt, no remorse, everything is gewaldig. Just take out your computer and go surfing wherever you like. Then it comes up on my computer, Shovim ta. One of my religious friends sent me this, Shovim. If you don't do this, you're gonna die. If you don't do tshuva, if you don't repent, you're really supposed to have 4,222 fasts for what you've done. But go to try to say some tillim, try to take a couple of days that you're gonna fast. Do a tikkun klali, go to the mikveh a little bit. Oh, I can't believe it. How do you come up with this thing? Those rabbis, they just didn't want us to enjoy ourselves. Right? That's how it feels. For that person, that's how it feels. That I'm saying, even though I'm making all kinds of jokes, but it's not so far off. It's not so far off. Even though people don't want to think like that, say that to themselves, but that feeling of Rosh Chodesh Elul. So the weeks of Shovim are the parashas of being enslaved in Mitzrayim, and they're getting out of Mitzrayim. Getting out of Mitzrayim. The Ayekah Kodesh was giving us a ticket to get out of Mitzrayim. Not to feel free. To feel free? Go on the street and you'll feel free. You go in the gutter, you could feel free. But then afterwards you don't feel free. But not a Yid. Somebody else could, but not a Jew can't feel free like that. Not any Jew that ever learned Torah, you can't feel free like that. You can go to the gutter and you can feel free, do whatever you like. The Ayekah Kodesh was giving a person a ticket during these weeks with the Or of Pesach. Is all these weeks is the Or B'Tzias time, because the Swarm said we lay in these parashas, and it's the Or B'Tzias time. Because now, when we lay in these parashas, it's tremendous Or. In a certain way, it's even higher than Pesach. And the Ayekah Kodesh is Megala this truth, that this is a time when you can get out of Mitzrayim. You can get out. You don't have to wait till Pesach. You can get out of Mitzrayim. and you can be free. That's your choice. Do you want to feel free, or do you want to be free? If you want to feel free, then Shayvim is just another thing on the calendar or whatever. It doesn't really have any particular meaning. It's just to be a person that's free. The meaning is that Ayekah was saying, I'm giving you an opportunity. I'm trying to help you to be able to open the door of the cell and to free the essence of who you are from being held hostage. From being held hostage. What wouldn't you do to free a hostage? So what if in addition to all the pictures of those holy Jews that are being held hostage by the Rishayim, what if you put a picture of yourself on the wall? Wouldn't that be an interesting thing? I don't know if the anti-Semites would tear that down. Put a picture of yourself on the wall outside your house someplace, and says they're hostage, and it says for how many years you've been held hostage, not how many months. Hostage, 47 years, 6 months, 2 weeks. How many years you've been held hostage? The picture of yourself smiling in the picture, holding your Android or tablet, whatever the thing. It says, and your picture, not the ones in Gaza, your picture hostage. And you go around telling people this is terrible, this hostage has to be free. And they look at the picture, they look at you and say, I think it's you. Can you take me out? So no, you got to get yourself out. But there are all kinds of answers how to get out. The Sefer is nights how to get out. The Tzaddikim gave us answers how to get out. How to be able to free the hostage. So in many ways it's much easier to cry about other hostages than you're being held hostage. To cry about other hostages, which is a very important thing to daven for, to cry, but when it comes to yourself, you don't have such rachmanis on yourself. Because you don't see those things that are holding you hostage, the way that you look at the Hamas guy, you don't look at what's holding you hostage. But that's what it is. The person that you really want to be is being held hostage. You could hang up a picture of yourself. But that's not going to be left up to some heroic soldier to get you out. That's up to you. That's what makes it much less exciting. So we have a problem over here. How does a person know what these merchavim are, these expanses? In other words, his ruach, his neshama. How does he know that he has all this greatness locked up, held hostage? From the time that he or she is a kid, he's doing all kinds of dumb things, and doesn't feel any particular greatness. And what are you telling me this shmuz, a drasha that who I am, my ruach, my neshama is held hostage, and there's so much greatness that's inside of me, and so on. And in the same way, when you were a kid and you heard your parents telling you could do so much better, and you said, yeah. So now you're just an adult that does the same thing. Well, you're giving speeches to your kid about you could do so much better. This is not really who you are. Or you go to the parents, teachers, and they're telling your kid is you might have to throw him out of school, but he has great potential. Right? But we might have to throw him out. He has tremendous potential. You go back and you say to your kid, they're going to throw you out of school, but you have such tremendous potential. And the parent is thinking that my kid is gewaldig and shouldn't be thrown out. And this goes on and on throughout our lives. Who is that potential person that they were telling my parents about? My parents were telling me about, and now the rabbis are telling me about, the Rebbesons that's locked up, that's being held hostage. What if you don't believe in that? You don't believe that there's somebody that's being held hostage, that the essence of who you are is being held hostage. It's one of the things that happened to a lot of the kids along the way, that that somehow parents or teachers or somebody takes away from them the belief that there's something better inside of them. It's a terrible, terrible travesty and avla to murder a child like that. That's what happens when a child Olena is hurt by a teacher or by a parent, or God forbid a child is molested by somebody. And the child looks at himself or herself as being a disgusting low person. There's nothing good inside of me. Only ugliness and disgusting things are inside of me. That's why that happened to me, because I'm a disgusting low person. And then some adult confirms that by saying something stupid. And then that person the rest of her life just does what she wants or what he wants, but not who he is or who she is, because he doesn't believe in who he is, because somebody killed that person a long time ago. That's what happens when you hurt a child. You kill that child. Even though you see the rest of their life, the kid is doing all kinds of crazy things. The kid's having a birth. Could be the kid. This kid grew up and became a billionaire, and he's got all that he wants, and he's enjoying his life. He has a private plane with 12 girlfriends going to Dubai. Dubai's already out. He's going. I don't know where. Mozambique. I don't know where they go. And he's having a great life, and you're sitting here, and you're by broken stender with some old Sefer, and you feel bad for the guy on the airplane. Somebody killed him a long time ago. So he doesn't believe that there's anything inside of him. So nothing's held hostage. And all that he could have are the pleasures of that moment that he feels free to indulge in. And if you say, but that's not who you really are, he looks at you and he laughs. The person who he really is was killed by somebody a long time ago. That's what happens to these children. And it's Rahmanis on these criminals. When you look at these criminals, do you think they were born bad people? All these Chalaria, they're running around doing bad things. They weren't born bad people. They were beautiful little children. You walk around the hospital, you take a look, they're beautiful children. They're babies, beautiful children. They weren't born to be bad. Somebody killed them. They were killed. For whatever reason, the person forgot to abort the baby. So this baby was born. And now that this baby is born, so they just kill him later on. He gets killed. So how did he become a criminal? How did it happen? Such a cute little baby became a criminal. What happened? The baby was killed. Not in the mother, it was killed later on. It was killed outside the mother. And the ones who killed him are going to be held accountable for that, for killing a child. And those who take away that feeling that a child had, that's a natural feeling that there's something inside of me, that I have a ruach, I have a nefesh, I have a ruach, I have a neshama, I can be something great. Whoever killed that, and that child is going to be held in the Beis Neshama accountable for killing that child. And you could go, when you see that kid later on doing all kinds of disgusting things and running around and off the derech, and it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. You're the murderer. It could be that you're the murderer. That child doesn't believe that there's anything inside of him. There's nothing inside of him. So when you say, no, you don't know how great you are, you don't realize when you learn this together with that person, the person says, just get back to my plane with my girlfriends, that's it. That's the end of it. So in some people, that hostage is deep, deep, deep down. This tunnel is much deeper than anything that's in Gaza. Gufa Adam. Misapek Moshe Yoshev Matoimim Ha'orev Lo. So the body of the person gives immediate pleasure. This tastes good. It tastes good. It's Erev Shabbos. Tonight, some of us are going to be eating things we shouldn't be eating. I'm not against, I'm not against eating Shabbos a little bit. I'm not talking about having something that you enjoy. I'm not from the, anti-Gashmias thing. But there's going to be things that some of us are going to be eating tonight, or amounts that we're going to be eating that we shouldn't be eating, because it's not good for us. And it's one thing to have a piece of mezainis. It's another thing to have a second and third and fourth piece of mezainis. And then after you're done with it, before you go to sleep, just make sure that everything's okay in the kitchen. You know that checkup on the kitchen to see if everything's okay. Now during the week, of course, it could be that you're just doing that to check to make sure the lights are all off. but why are you checking on Friday night in the kitchen? That's a very big kasha, right? She said, no, I want to make sure everything's in the fridge. Okay, that's maybe the girls, but the guys. So why are you going to check the kitchen at night? That interesting inspection of the night of the kitchen.
Evening out the zonas, got to even out the.
Yeah, because it's crooked a little bit. The zonas was crooked. You just want to help. You don't want, you want it would be embarrassing for your wife the next morning that she brings out, she takes out the cake and it's not nice. She just wanted to make it nice. To make it nice. Unless you're one of the guys that just takes up the whole top. With the chocolate on top. You have there's a certain kind of a Jew that does that. There's this delicious cake with chocolate icing on top, and he goes and just slices the icing. And then they come the next day and have just marble. Nothing. So it's Erev Shabbos. Tonight there's going to be things. I'm not suggesting not to have a piece of kugel. I'm not saying that you should be, should be having string beans or something tonight, but you can have a piece of kugel, and you enjoy it, and it feels good, and it tastes good, and that's what your body tells you. So, that's what your body tells you. The body tells you the body speaks in a very clear way. This is good. The body is not complicated. You don't have to have a shiur. Nobody had to explain to you, how it tastes good or good. That's why I always think it's a funny thing. I never liked alcohol. To me, it tastes like the most disgusting thing in the world. I don't know how people drink. I don't understand what this is. So if you say it to the person, then the person who stands there smiling with his glazel schnapps, he tells you have to develop a taste. It's an interesting thing. You have to develop a taste. Why? If it doesn't, why do you have to develop a taste for that? If it doesn't taste good, then don't drink it. You need to develop a taste. So I had somebody from the Mishpach was telling me that I don't drink wine. I drink grape juice. So somebody's thinking, this is a very chashuv of wine. It's got it says on the Bible all kinds of chashuv things. And they name wines now after Rishonim and all kinds of things. And it's like if you don't drink this wine, you don't respect the Rambam. And I don't like it. You have to work at it. You have to shake the glass, You have to shake the glass to make it, A person can have a taiva. To have to work on it, developing a taiva for something. Usually the way the body talks is it tells you immediately, this is good, this is bad. When you're a kid, no one can tell you. You try to tell the kid, you want the kid to eat something healthy. The kid doesn't want it, and you say you have to develop a taste. You tell a little kid, this is really very good for you. You just need to develop a taste. My mother, she used to always want me to drink tea with honey. You ever have that? I was like, torture. To this day, when I see somebody drinking tea with honey, like globs of honey, I hate honey, I hate tea. And my father would just nod to me, you drink it. And that was it, my mother's giving me this stuff. And this is good for you. And this is good for you. I could taste right away, this is not good for me. This is not good for me. So usually the body speaks in a way that's very, very clear. It's very, very open, very clear. As you grow older, you begin to learn more about what's then a different madrega of good. This is something that the taste might not be so good, but as you grow, but it's good for me. This is good for me. So the string beans are good for me, let's say. Well, this is good for me. Or maybe the tea and the honey, it's good for me. And you get older, so you mature, so you're able to come to a place, a higher madrega of being free as opposed to feeling free. And then that thought of how this is something which is healthy for me can be liberating also, right? Just like exercising is a hard thing to do, but people will tell you that they enjoy it. It's hard because they're already in a place where that being free has a certain excitement to it. even though it doesn't feel free because you have a regimen of exercising, and you'd rather just not have to work out because it's hard to work out. It's hard to work out. So why are you working out? The teretz is because you want to be free of the shibudim of the guf, of the body. So you want to be free, and you can work on that to the point where even though it's hard, just like Yom Kippur is hard, even though it's hard, but it's liberating. And when you're a person that you run a lot, you jog and you exercise, and you work at that, which I try to do, and not as much as I should, but I do try. And I know a lot of the chevra are biking and working out, and if you ask them, you enjoy that? I find mostly they say, it's gewaldig. Not the ones not at the beginning, but the ones who are working it, it's gewaldig. But to the outside of this, how could that be gewaldig? That looks like it's torture. You see, you're like all verschwitzt and tired and knocked out, and you look like your life would be much better just lying on your couch with a quart of ice cream. It's a lot easier than no. Don't you feel free when you have the quart of ice cream? And now you're meshuba to this thing that you have to go for, running for this and this amount of time and all the stuff that you're doing. Don't you? Which gives you more of a feeling of freedom? Some pneumias, of course, the running does. Chitzonius, the ice cream does. But that's part of maturing. Being able to feel free upon becoming free is maturing. Being able to feel, so the runner feels that freedom also. Even though to the outsiders that's a shiba, it's a terrible shiba. You have these people that work out for the Olympics. You ever read how many hours a day they're doing this stuff? Of course, it's crazy. How much is exaggerated, but they're trying because they have a certain goal and they want to accomplish the goal. So you have this person that you have some person that wants to be in the Olympics and is working out for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. It's more, I don't know, all kinds of things that to the person on the outside is a terrible shibud. Because that person is looking for a pneumistic, again, when I say pneumis, I mean not madrega, some sort of a goal, to reach a certain goal. And if he ends up standing there with the gold medal, it's a gewaldige thing. For that person, that's a mein olam haba. Even though you say, was it worth it? Like 5,000 hours of running and jumping and not being able to eat what you want to eat and all kinds of things, was it worth it? And that person would say, 1,000% it was worth it. It's 1,000% worth it. Whatever it is that the person was like, the tachlis was. It could be it's covered. Whatever it is. I'm talking about lower level in Yonim. I'm not talking about Torah misses. But for that person, that was a very liberating thing. Because that's part of growing into avodah, is being able to feel free. In the beginning, when you're learning, and you feel that you have a seder in learning. It's I can't take this. And then over time, with the learning, there's nothing that you feel that gives you more of a feeling of being. Not only are you free, but you feel free. To outside people, you get stuck by some old book here for hours. What's the matter with you? You're not alive. You're not living. This is what is so sad about how, like there's certain diburim. You have to be careful here to word this in the right way. There are diburim that are going around, and some of them are coming from Chashuv, people that are learned people, but how even now the things that are going on. Somebody was saying that they're afraid that yeshiva bachim are going to start, that they daven too much, or they worry too much, or if they visit, or they go to levayos of soldiers and so on, that they're going to come to identify with that way of life, and they're going to leave the yeshiva, and they're going to want to be like chayalim. Things like this that people are worried about this. What does that say about their limud Torah? I'm not talking now about protecting the Jewish people that you're learning, which is true. And all of these, what does that say about your limud Torah? Don't you enjoy your learning? Aren't you excited about your learning? Aren't you thrilled over learning? Why are you afraid that if this boy admires a chayal, which he should, that he admires this chayal for what he's doing for his gevurah, why are you afraid that he's going to want to leave yeshiva? What does that say about how you're not reaching that kid? Answer that question. Rabbi, what does that say about you're not reaching this kid if you're so insecure that you're afraid that if he goes to a levaya of a soldier, he might want to be one? To do something for the Jewish people like that, as opposed to doing for the Jewish people by sitting and learning, which is great. Sitting and learning is 100%. It's a gewaldige thing, and that's I believe 1,000,000%. That sitting and learning is a tremendous protection for Am Yisrael. I'm 100% in that. All my heart and soul, I believe in that. But why doesn't that kid believe in that? And why are you so nervous that he's going to? Why are you so nervous that if the kid goes to a rally that he's going to leave Yiddishkeit? You haven't been able. You were given this kid for 12, 13, 14 years. You were not able to bring him to a place where he's so deeply in love with learning that you're afraid that if he's going to hear a Galach get up and say something like, "We're against anti-Semitism," that might take him off the derech.
No, he's going to become a Christian.
He's going to become a Christian.
There's a Rosh Hashiva.
I know. We have to daven that he shouldn't be poisoned by his speech that the Galach is against anti-Semitism. You haven't been able you had him for 12, 13, 14 years. And you're afraid that he's going to be ruined by hearing his speech? Ad kedei kach. So there's something wrong with that. You would hope that this kid would be so in love with Torah, that he'd be so excited about his learning, that wouldn't be an enticement. That wouldn't be something that. Why would that excite him at all? Why would that interest him at all? What are you afraid of? Unless maybe you're worried that even after all of these years, that boy doesn't have his heart and soul in what he's doing. Why not? Let's talk about that. We'll never talk about that. But why not? Why are you afraid of losing him so easily? Why is he so brittle? Why is he so fragile? Why is it that anything that comes his way could take him away from Yiddishkeit, unless there's something missing in his Yiddishkeit? And can we talk about that? No. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what's missing in his life. Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid? I'm not talking about a 6-year-old. I'm not talking about a 12-year-old. I'm talking about somebody that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Why are you afraid? Why are you afraid that in 1 minute he'll give up everything that you've been teaching him for all these years in 1 minute because of something that he sees? Why are you afraid that he's going to give it up? Because they're not wrong, because many of them would give it up. Mm-hmm. That means there's something deeply wrong. There's something that's missing. If you would take like the 5 starters on the basketball team in college, would you be afraid that they should go someplace and to see people who are overweight sitting on benches eating yodels? because the guy on the starting team, he looks at the guy sitting in the yodels and say, and we're afraid that I might lose my star center to the yodel eating fellow. Like, why? You wouldn't be afraid of that, because the guy that's the starting center on the team, he's winning. He's a winner. He's excited. He's pumped up, and he looks bad. He looks at these and he says, "That's not my life. I don't want to be that." So we're not afraid of the starting center on the college team, seeing the guy sitting there. You know, we're not afraid of him. That the coach sits that night. They have a meeting. That they have a meeting behind closed doors. We must prevent our boys from seeing that, because they might want to eat yodels. And if they eat a lot of yodels, they're not going to be able to be on the basketball team. And we need to win the championship. But we're afraid that our boys are going to be enticed by the yodels. They're not going to be. Why? And you know they're not going to be because they love basketball. They love what they're doing. They live for the basketball game. They love it. Not afraid of anything. They're not going to go off the derech of basketball. They're not going to go off the derech of basketball because they're crazy in love with basketball. So you don't have to be afraid. They can go see all the people that are eating and overweight and not athletic, and it's not going to entice them into a non-athletic way of thinking. Because they're be'etzim, they're athletes. And if you're an athlete be'etzim, you have that confidence and that happiness, feeling that this is who I am, this is what I want to do. I'm excited about doing this. You're not afraid that the athlete is going to be drawn away from being an athlete by seeing somebody who's not athletic. These are I think these are fair questions, or it's an important thing to think about. When you are in that place where you feel that Yiddishkeit is your ticket to freedom, and that's who you are, the etzem, then there's nothing to be afraid of. You're not afraid. You don't have to be worried. It's when you're not certain about it, where your kid is holding with Yiddishkeit, that you're afraid every step the kid takes. And you're up at night wondering where he or she is, because you don't have confidence in that kid. But if you trust your kid, and your kid is in a strong place, so you know that he or she will handle himself properly, whatever. Of course, you daven that nothing should happen, whatever, but you trust in that. You trust that kid. So why is it so hard for us to trust our children? And as I said, there are many good reasons for not trusting, not because the kid's not a good kid, because we haven't succeeded somehow in giving over. For whatever reason. If we haven't succeeded in giving over Yiddishkeit in such a way where the kid feels, this is my life, this is what I enjoy. I enjoy learning. I enjoy going to shul. I enjoy being a Jew. It's something which I find is meaningful in my life. Then there's nothing to be afraid of. Why would the person be taken away by something that's looks like fun, but the person knows is not fun? The Torah says, because every little bit of stuff that looks like fun could pull the kid away. Anything that looks like it's more exciting than what he's doing in his life could pull him away, if he's not excited about what he's doing in his life. If he's not thrilled with his life, then we're afraid that every little thing could pull him away from that. So is that being free? No, that's you're meshubed. So the body speaks in a very clear language. This tastes good, this feels good. That's how the body speaks. This tastes good and this feels good. But on the other hand, the ruach and the neshama chavuyim chadar. The ruach and the neshama are very, very, very humble and very quiet. The ruach and the neshama are hidden deep, deep inside. The kolan adin ma'od, and the voice of the ruach and the neshama is very delicate, very gentle. It's a gentle sound. The body screams, talks loud, clear. The neshama is able, speaks in a quiet way, not in a loud way. The kemat she'enu nishma b'tchila. Kemat, you can't hear it. You have to listen very, 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 very carefully. You can't hear. Especially when you're immature, if you're young, immature. And if somebody has chalila killed that, you can't hear it at all. If somebody has just killed that part of you, you can't hear it at all. Ha'adam zokuk l'mapes drachim. She'tesartei lo es chadrei rucho ve'cholos nishmasa. We'll end with this, in the middle of this beautiful sentence. A person needs to have mapat drachim, map, ways. Shetesartik lo es chadvei rucho, that will carve out for him, will sketch for him, will show him a way to get to the tunnel, down, to get to that place of who you are. Veicholos nishmasa, to lead you, to find, to be able to find the chadrei nishmasa, the rooms in which your neshama is waiting. A roadmap, a way to find the place where your neshama is sitting. So you'll be able to find, to discover your inner essence. That you'll know how to give birth to it, and to bring out, to free, to take out the hostage, to take out the neshama ha'aluva, the shechina, which is in Golas, inside of us, that sits nebuch like that. The neshama, the shechina, rachli man who is sitting inside each and every one of us, and held hostage. To be able to take her out from that place of captivity. The person needs to have a map. Now, how that works and what that map is, Bez Hashem, we'll continue with next week. Have a good Shabbos and